What's up everyone, my name is Brian. Today we're gonna go through 3 misconceptions of spoken English. If you like my video, please give me a thumb up and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Let's get started.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul.
When it comes to English learning, most people have these big misconceptions of spoken English. Today we're gonna go through 3 misconceptions I think are extremely important for you to understand so you can rewire how you think about certain things. Alright, the number 1 misconception is something I call the vocabulary anxiety. Most people think they need to know a huge amount of words in order to start communicating. This is such a common mental barrier. I mean, seriously. I started was kind of lazy and now I will sit up. I started learning English when I was in 3rd grade in China, but the time when I started using English was after I came to the US.
Yeah, I know it's a Canadian flag, so stop saying that.
When I was in college, I had the same misconception, always try to search for the perfect word in my head. Trust me, I was in my head every time I started talking to people.
2,000 years later.
I have to think the direct and literal translation of the words in my mother tongue every time I start talking to people. I could just express myself 10 times better by using the words I felt comfortable speaking than just by searching for the perfect ones in my head.
Why the hell did you just walk in the room over and over again?
Alright, I think I found the perfect spot. So how many words do we need to know in order to speak fluent English? To get to the answer of this, we first need to know how many English words do average native speakers know. So typical native speakers know about 15,000 to 20,000 lemmas. Lemma means the derivatives of a word family. For example, run, run, running, blue, bluer, bluest, or even bluish, which means kind of blue. With 3 to 5 root words to each actual words, we can cut it down to about 3 to 5,000 words that native speakers know.
3 to 5,000 words? Hell no! I ain't gonna remember those words, bro.
Don't you cry no more.
Well, here's the thing, those are the words that native speakers know doesn't mean they're using those words in their daily lives. And what's even more shocking is that according to the BBC News, if you know only 800 of the most frequently used English lemmas, you'll be able to understand 75% of the language as it is spoken in normal life. Which means we only need to know 300 of the most frequently used English words to handle any basic conversations. Those 300 words are a lot more valuable than any other words simply because they are used far more often. For example, it's much easier to know the word house than to know the word abode, which means a resident place to live. And you will get fewer outlooks if you say the word perhaps than peradventure.
Is that even a word?
Now we know that we don't need many words to speak English or to talk to native speakers.
Where are those words and where to find them, bro?
Don't worry, I got you. I got a link down below to a Google Doc where I conclude 300 most frequently used English words in daily conversations. All you need to do is try your best to memorize them, which I think is something you can easily do because those are the words you have learned in middle school or elementary school. Once you get them carved in your brain, I will teach you guys how to use them in the next video. Now we know the common reason we often get stuck while speaking is because we put too much work on thinking of the words instead of communicating the message. Through the video so far, I bet you already noticed that you can't understand almost every single word coming out of my mouth. I didn't use any big fancy words.
Well, because you don't know any fancy words, loser.
Remember, you speak to communicate, and the purpose of your communication is to let other people understand what the hell are you saying. So the second misconception is what I call the grammar trap.
Yo, you know what? I gotta tell you, last night me and my friends had this party. It was so freaking lit, and
Then, we're just dancing, and when I saw this girl, she's so hot, bro. Like, I just got, oh my god, it's like, I have to take her back home and stuff like that, but like, I can't, it's just, oh, Jesus Christ.
Wait a sec. It's my friends and I, not me and my friends. So what I said was actually grammatically incorrect, but if my friend can still understand me, why does it even matter? To understand this, we have to know why this happened in the first place. For all languages in the world, there are 2 main positions: prescriptivism and descriptivism. Prescriptivism means a language should follow a single and a consistent rule. Oh, sorry, okay?
Yeah, man, good.
Descriptivism means you can adapt and vary a language using as a natural and necessary part. Oh, sorry man, my bad. You good?
Sure.
For much of the history, the vast majority of a language was spoken. But as people became more interconnected and writing gained more importance, written language became standardized to allow broader conversations and ensure that people from different parts of the world understand each other.
Sorry.
In many languages, this standardized form eventually became the only proper one despite being derived from one of the many spoken varieties. So speech patterns that deviate from the written rules are considered corruptions or the signs of a low social status. Many people who had grown up speaking these ways are forced to adopt the standardized form. Most of us learn to speak at such an early age that we don't even remember. We form our spoken repertoire through unconscious habit, not memorized rules. Repertoire. From the point of view of linguistics, grammar is a set of patterns of how words are put together to form phrases or clauses. So you can probably form your own patterns when you speak English.
Yesterday, at the store, many hats stole.
Study shows that although people try to find the common features to all languages, few of those universals have been found except for basic features like having nouns or verbs. So grammar is probably very important when you write a college essay, but when it comes to speaking, it's probably less important than you think. Native speakers make grammatic errors all the time.
That's what's up.
Now here comes to the third misconception. Also the most popular complaint that most of English learners have when it comes to speaking.
No one around me speak English.
I don't live in an English-speaking country.
I don't have anyone to practice with.
It is true that these factors will push you to speak English, but they're not the only factors that decide whether you speak good English. Truth is, they're gonna make it easier for you, but so what? It's a nice to have instead of a need to have. We can easily find people who don't live in an English-speaking country but speak fluent English.
See that kid over there with the orange sweater and the sunglasses? That's me. 18 years old. Had a lot of fucking acne back then. Just moved to LA. Didn't know anybody, but I was good at one thing. Beer pong.
Yeah, that little dude who just went viral a couple years ago. Yo, he smoked the hell out of most native rappers, but he had been living in Malaysia for all his life until he turned 18. My point here is that you don't need to be as good as a rapper to speak English. You can definitely achieve speaking fluency by immersing yourself in a language environment that is created by yourself.
You know, I have something to tell you. Even you're the worst person in the world, I still love you.
Jesus Christ. It simply means being around all kinds of people, social media, and internet that can help you to get access to English as much as possible. So you probably have already got a lot of tips from other people or from the internet saying make English part of your daily life if you want to speak fluent English. Like writing your shopping list, reading a newspaper, listening to the radio, or listening to English podcasts on your cell phone while traveling to work.
Go find English friends at a bar and go to the English bar with English friends, go online, make English friends, or you can go to the tourist sites or something like that. I don't know, yada yada.
I don't know about you, but I got no time for that. So if you're lazy like me, here's a tip you can start using today. So every time we watch an English movie or show, I don't want you to just watch it. Instead, have interactions with the characters. What would you say if you were in front of that person or in that situation? And compare your speaking to what they say, learn how they talk and pronounce each word. Pay attention to their lips. How do their lips move whenever time they speak? Try to use this strategy every time when you watch a movie or show. I'm sure it can drastically improve your spoken English in a short amount of time. Alright, that's pretty much all for today's video. In the meanwhile, I want to know some of the struggles you have when you speak English. Again, leave a comment down below. If you like this video, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.
And peace.
Alright, 1, 2, 3, action.
No.
Oh.
Stop, man! It's gotta be, let's like 3 seconds. Give me like 3 seconds and I'll meet you fucking right here.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Good?
I thought you were not gonna say the sir.
Sorry, man.
Sorry,
man, my bad. Sorry, man, my bad. Sorry. Oh, sorry, sir. Why did you say sorry, sir?
Come on, man, you suck.
I'm just keep recording.
You will never make it in Hollywood school.